drawing mitosis, and there is no PowerPoint for this, so we got to watch this video, and you can pause at any time, no problem. I would suggest having 6 colors, so you can have a different one for each organelle and each set of chromosomes. It'll make it really handy. Okay, so let's start here. You should have by now watched Amoeba Sisters' video Mitosis, so you'll have a bit of a handle of what's going on, and you can always watch the video again after to help cement what we're learning. Okay, so starting with cell division. Any new cell comes from existing cells by a process of cell division. A cell's life is a sequence of steps called the cell cycle. You read that? Yeah, that looks okay. Let's look at this. The cell cycle has 3 parts. The first part is interphase. Right? This is the longest phase of the cell cycle. This is this part of the cell cycle that the cell spends the most of its time in. Next comes mitosis. Okay. And this is where we get ready to duplicate, and then we have cytokinesis. Which is when the cell actually splits in 2. Okay? So the first part is, the first stage is interphase. Interphase occurs before mitosis begins. Before. Okay? Organelles and chromosomes are copied. Okay, so the number of chromosomes are doubled. At the start, chromosomes appear as thread-like coils called chromatin. Okay, so the chromosomes look like spaghetti, or I use the IN to remind me of noodles, and that's how I remember that. Before PMAT, it's chromatin. Chromosomes are called chromatin. Okay, there's lots of rapid growth and repair. And can't stress enough that this is the longest phase. Okay. Okay. Now, let's draw it. Okay, so I have my 6 colors here. Okay, I'm going to start by drawing the cell membrane. And yes, the picture we have is rectangular, so your cell is not going to be a circle, and that's totally okay. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our cell membrane, and then we're also going to draw a nuclear membrane at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to make my membranes all the same color. The next thing I'm going to draw is a pair of centrioles. Okay, and this is where the spindle fibers come from. So I have 1, and then I have where the little spindle fibers are going to come out of, and then I have another pair. And I just make like 2 little rectangles or 2 little cylinders. Okay. So there are my centrioles. Okay, next up, I need a nucleolus, and that goes inside the nuclear membrane. Okay, and then I have my chromatin, and my chromatin is going to be pink, green, and yellow. Okay. Okay. So we start off with 1 of each one, okay, and then it's copied, right? So now I'm going to have a second one, okay, and then I'm going to have a second green one, and then I'm going to have a second red one or pink one, okay, and each of these needs to have a centromere on them. Okay, so that is a little dot in the middle. Okay, here we go. So let's label these parts. Okay, so this brainy looking purple thing, this is our nucleolus. Okay, this outer membrane is our cell membrane. And this one here is our nuclear membrane. And feel free to pause at any time, okay? No big deal. Here are our duplicate chromatin. Okay, and then over here we have our 2 pairs of centrioles. Okay, and that is intraphase. Ready for the next one? Here we go. Okay, now we're going to start mitosis. And the first stage in mitosis is prophase. And all 4 stages together, you've probably heard the acronym already, PMAT. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. So prophase is our first step in mitosis. Okay, here the centrioles move to opposite ends of the cell. Our spindle fibers begin to form, and our sister chromatids, which are now our double-stranded chromosomes, condense and become visible. Okay, they're now called chromatids. Okay, so they go from chromatin, when they're long like noodles, condense to chromatids. So D for dense, that's how I remember it. Okay, and the nuclear membrane and nucleolus disappear, gone. Okay, so let's draw that out. Okay, so again we have our rectangle, and we're going to draw our nuclear membrane, or our cell membrane. Okay, cells are not perfectly circular anyways, so it's really okay. Don't stress that you're not drawing a circle. Okay, and then I'm going to show my nuclear membrane disappearing. Okay, I'm just going to do like a dashed line. Okay, and now I'm going to have my centrioles. Where's there? Here we go. Okay, my centrioles go to opposite ends of the cell, so I'll have one set here and one set here. Okay, and now the spindle fibers are starting to grow. Okay, so it's kind of like octopus arms coming out. Okay. Okay, so it kind of looks like that. And then we have our chromatids, which have now condensed. So I'm going to draw them in kind of X's, so kind of thick X's that look like this. And another one over here. Okay. And we need centromeres. So each one has that belt buckle. Okay, and now let's label this all. Okay. So one arrow pointing directly at that black dot, and that is our centromere. Okay, so the left side is one chromatid, or sorry, The right side is one chromatid, the left side is the other chromatid, and they're held together by a centromere. And together, this is a homologous pair of chromosomes, okay, or chromosomes. Okay, and here is our nuclear membrane. Disappears. Okay, here is our centrioles on opposite ends of the cell. And here we have our spindle fibers start to form. Okay, so remember the spindle fibers are the long kind of tentacles that come out. The centrioles are these two little knobs right here. Okay, and then we have, I'm going to point to one of these. Okay, bring it all the way out here. So chromatin condense to chromatids. And this together is a homologous pair of chromosomes. Okay, and that is prophase. Prophase literally is the centrioles move to opposite ends, spindle fibers start to form, and the chromatin condense to chromatids. That's the big picture.